Hello all. In this video lecture, we will look at Unit 2 APPRO JRD summary. About author. The author is Sudha Murthy. Sudha Murthy is an Indian technologist, philanthropist and writer. She was born in Karnataka. She studied computer science and engineering and began her career at telco. She helped her husband Narayana Murthy and co-founded Infosys. She founded a non-profit organization, Infosys Foundation. She wrote novels, short story collections, essays, and travelogues in both Kannada and English. About the essay. In the essay, she recalls the memories about JRD Tata. She talks about his simplicity and vision. She also talks about his influence on her to become an entrepreneur and philanthropist. At the very beginning of the essay, Sudha Murthy recalls about people asking about the portraits of the two men on her office wall. When people ask about the portraits of the two men on her office wall as they enter, she says that they are neither relatives nor religious gurus. She tells them the story how those two people influenced her, especially JRD Tata, and how grateful she was to them. Later, she begins her story, which dates back to 1974, when she was in her final year of master's degree in computer science at IISc in Bangalore. One day, she saw an advertisement on the notice board from telco, now it is called Tata Motors, for hardworking engineers with excellent academic background. But the ad also stated that lady candidates need not apply for the job. She finds it discriminating women. Being upset about gender discrimination, Sudha Murthy wrote a letter to JRD Tata, though the chairman was Sumant Malgonkar. What are the important lines from the letter? The Tatas have always been pioneers. They are the people who started the basic infrastructure industries in India, such as iron, steel, chemical, textiles, and locomotives. They have cared for higher education in India since 1900, and they were responsible for the establishment of the Indian Institute of Science. Fortunately, I studied there, but I am surprised how a company such as telco is discriminating on the bias of gender. So this is how she wrote her letter. Less than in 10 days, Sudha Murthy was called for the interview from telco Pune. She goes to telco Pimpri office to attend the interview without any hope to get the job. So she became fearless and spoke a sentence, "I hope this is only a technical interview round." After the technical interview, an elderly gentleman explained why they don't want to recruit women. He said the job is to work on shop floor, which demands much physical labor, and she also suggested her to be a researcher as she had outperformed in her class. But, said Sudha, somewhere we must start encouraging women, otherwise no women can work in any factory. After the long interview, they selected her for the job in Pune, where she got married to Narayan Murthy. Sudhamurthy also writes how she was astonished about the simplicity of JRD Tata. It was while working at Telco, Sudhamurthy came to know who JRD Tata was. It was at the Bombay House in the office of Sumant Malgonkar Sudha met JRD Tata for the first time. People at the Bombay House used to call him Appro JRD with affection. Appro means hour in Gujarati. When she was introduced to JRD, he simply asked her name and said that it's a good sign that girls in our country are also getting into engineering. At another time, JRD Tata noticed her when Sudhamurthy was waiting for her husband, and the Tata waited until Narayana Murthy came to receive her. And this simplicity really astonished her. After working for around 8 years, she resigned her job in 1982 to join his husband's company, Emphasis. When she met JRD Tata on the day of her resignation and replied to JRD's question, he said, "Never start with diffidence, start with confidence. When you are successful, you must give back to society. Society gives us so much, so we must reciprocate." After years, at the same Bombay house, she met Ratan Tata and shared her memories about JRD Tata. Days after the conversation, Ratan Tata wrote a letter to Sudha saying that it was nice to listen from you about JRD, but he is not alive to see you. Having recollected the memories at Telco and with JRD, Sudhamurthy concludes her essay with these words. I consider JRD a great man because despite being an extremely busy person, he valued one postcard written by a young girl seeking justice. He must have received thousands of letters every day. He could have thrown mine away, but he didn't do that. He respected the intentions of that unknown girl who had neither influence nor money and gave her an opportunity in his company. He did not merely give her a job, he changed her life and mindset forever. She continues, close to 50% of students in today's engineering colleges are girls, and there are women on the shop floor in many industry segments. He would have enjoyed it wholeheartedly. My love and respect for the house of Tatas remains undiminished by the passage of the time. I always looked up to JRD. I saw him as a role model for his simplicity, his generosity, his kindness, and the care he took of his employees. Those blue eyes always reminded me of the sky. They had of the same vastness and munificence.